We're back. This is the Pro League 2016 with Tasteless and Valdez. We had a very one-sided series to start off today.
Yeah, that was a quick one, Tasteless. A 3-0 CJ over MVP Chicken Maru. Not very surprising, to be honest, based on the matchups, but I feel like this second match today, Tasteless, will be a lot closer. It's going to be the Afreeca Freaks up against the Jin Air Green Wings.
Yeah, this is going to be an interesting day. I think most people would say the Jin Air Green Wings the favorites here, but the Afreeca Freaks, I mean, they got a very strong lineup as well. Yeah,
these guys, I mean, regardless of what team they're on, if it's Startail, Spenu, the Afreeca Freaks, you know, they've been picking up guys along the way. It seems like a ragtag group of guys, but they really make it work. A lot of veterans on the team. They don't get nervous when they go into the booth. They understand what it takes to win at this level, at the highest level of StarCraft 2. So don't count them out. I feel like over time these guys can definitely get really good.
Yeah, you know, whenever you have a new group of players all forming together, it takes a little bit of time to get that cohesion, to get that chemistry together. Jin Air Green Wings, one of the older StarCraft 2 teams that we've had here in Korea, and definitely an all-star lineup. I mean, we're getting a shot right now of SOS. This guy is sick.
Yeah, he's not playing today,
unfortunately. Or maybe fortunately if you're the Afreeca Freaks.
Yeah, they're like, oh, thank God they didn't send out SOS. This lineup that they sent out is already really scary.
Yeah.
Trap Rogue, Kieran Maru is going to be their 4 players that they decided today.
Well, it is a situation where you don't want to send out, like, for instance, let's say the same 3 guys in a row over and over, right? Yeah. There's going to be periods where somebody's sick, somebody's maybe out of the loop of the meta, or they were at a tournament overseas. You got to make sure that each of the players in your team has that proper exposure. And, yeah, we'll just have to see what happens. I think we got to actually join.
Yeah, I'm on it.
Yeah. We'll be hopping in here. So here's the matchups we're going to be having today. And it's going to be starting out with Curious against Trap here. That should be a lot of fun. Super against Rogue as well. I think that's going to be a fairly even matchup. And then Alive against Kieran. I think Alive can actually take that one.
Yeah, I think he should actually. Definitely voted for him.
He's been playing really well as of late. If you haven't been watching much Legacy of the Void, and you're maybe thinking of the Alive that we had in, let's say, late Wings of Liberty or throughout most of Heart of the Swarm, you'd be thinking, well, there's no way. There's no way Alive's going to take this. But in Legacy, man, he looks really scary.
Things have changed, Tasteless, as they always do with the new expansion. Players are coming up where they weren't as strong before in the past. And Alive is definitely one of those guys. And that's going to be a TVT on Alrena, so that's going to be a really fun match regardless.
TVT has become so cool. Now with the Medevac Siege Tank
with
combo.
flying tanks, it's, anything's possible.
We've never seen a tank used as such a harass unit. I was joking in another cast, like, why even ever make it so that it can move, right? You're never going to even take this out of siege mode, okay? Like, you're never going to have the tank actually roll on its wheels because once it comes out, you siege that thing up.
Once you get enough medevacs, then...
Excuse me, pick it up with the medevacs. I think I just spat on you. And you see these games where they're actually moving around, and they'll have, like, 4 or 5 medevacs in the middle of the map, and they'll just wait for the army to come in, drop, hit everything, pick up, move back, drop again, and then as they're retreating, they'll loop around to the side and drop there too.
And it gets really annoying because, especially if the enemy player is not paying attention, you can actually do a crazy amount of damage because the composition is usually Marine, tank, medevac. So if you hit a huge ball of Marines, obviously you need to wait, I think it's like a second after you drop the tanks for them to fire. But it's still like, if they're not paying attention, you're going to get a huge amount of damage.
We've had some of these tanks in the medevacs where, like, each tank has 15 to 13 kills. Going around. So definitely watch for that. As far as I can tell, in the way that I've seen the TVTs unfolding, whether it's SSL, GSL, or Pro League right here, you definitely do tend to notice that the Terran that is initiating first tends to have an advantage. It is just that difficult to deal with the siege tank once it bemes fully mobile, that you would almost always prefer to just be the person who's at least doing the poking, starting to do the harass versus the person that's trying to defend.
Yeah, Elrena's going to make it really interesting too, because if you can get a good position at the bottom of their ramp, then you're going to be in a great spot. You're going to have your tanks sieged up. As long as you have vision, you're going to be perfect. You're going to be right outside their natural. But if you try to attack through that tiny little choke, and the other Terran has got a bunch of tanks and a concave, you're not getting through. So
no, you are not getting
It's going to be
through.
a hugely positional based game there. They're going to be fighting for different parts of the map. It's going to be a ton of fun. So definitely look out for that one, guys.
And tell your friends to join us here. I know a lot of people aren't in the Pro League rhythm. We had started this for 1 week, and then it was the holidays here in Korea, so everybody had a week off. But, you know, every Monday and Tuesday night, Pro League's going to be here. Valdez and myself will be casting it.
Yeah.
And, I mean, it's definitely something you don't want to miss out on. Pro League, as far as still running, is like the oldest esports show.
Yeah.
I think that there actually is.
Yeah, that's
Period.
still running.
That's yeah, because Pro League's old. I mean, this is all the way back in Brood War.
Yeah, is this like its 11th season or something ridiculous?
Well, I mean, are
10th or 11th? I mean,
maybe a year.
Huh?
I mean, it's been out. Since it was out back in. I don't know. I mean, it's been out for a long time. I don't know exactly when it started, but it's been out for a long, long time. So, you know, it's a part of esports history we're keeping alive, and it's always cool to have all these different games and to see all the different players. You know, when I'm casting GSL, I'm seeing these guys, and even though I know that they're on a team, it's not the first thing I think about, right? I think about them on their individual skills and where they lie there. But, you know, in fact, you see these guys together, you think, oh my God, yeah, it's these 6 guys. They all train together. They're all so solid.
Yeah. Well, our matchup first, we talked a bit about our third matchup today, Alive versus Cure, but for the first one, we do have Curious versus Trap for our first PVZ of the day. There's going to be 2 PVZs and then 2 TVTs, possibly. We do get to see that 4th game, so that's on the cards for you guys for this second matchup.
All right. I mean, I don't know. Who do you think is going to win?
I voted for Trap.
Oh, really?
But I think I kind of was going against the grain there. I was kind of voting more for the player.
You know who went against the grain earlier today was Tasteless when he voted for Departure, and I was wrong. I was dead wrong.
We'll see if it pays off this time. I'm not sure.
Oh, my God. Well, I didn't know
As
about
I
this.
said before, I mean, I'm voting for the player.
10 wins?
Trap has been a lot more consistent
What?
here.
I didn't know that.
Well, yeah.
I knew that Trap had done well against Curious, but I didn't know it was like 10-0.
Yeah, to be honest, I didn't actually know it was that
Well, it looks like
one-sided,
Tasteless is going down again here. Our game has loaded up. The map will be Prion Terraces.
Ooh, it's only me and Kanata for Trap. Really interesting. You guys are all going for that Zerg favoritism tonight.
Yeah, well, I mean, Curious has been playing really well, and if you really look at it, from the beginning of Wings, throughout Heart of the Swarm, and all the way to Legacy of the Void, Curious might be the most consistent player we've ever had. You know what I'm saying? So,
yeah, definitely true.
I don't know. Let's see how he does here. Anyways, we're going to start game number 1. Let's do this. It's on. Down here in the bottom right, Curious. Purple theme going on for the Zergs. In the upper left, in the green, it's Trap.
Green theme going on for the generic Green Wings.
So, guys, first and foremost, the map has been altered. The gold base is now at the natural.
You didn't actually have to make that sound effect because the music right now is so epic.
Yeah.
I don't know why it's like starting off like this.
They're making workers.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
mining minerals.
we just started the game. Like, put this on when we're, you know.
Like right when the DT is coming there. We're like, I don't know if the observer's going to get out there in time.
The tank's flying in. Your flying tank, you know. But,
yeah, it's like really intense.
Oh, man, he made a hatchery.
Scouting the map for proxies.
I don't get it, Tasteless, but
although I will say, for suspense music and Legacy, this is great.
Yeah, no, it's good.
He's playing Cat's Cradle with those waypoints. Look at that.
Oh, boy.
Okay, well, the drone wants to come up here and take the third.
Oh!
Denied. And is that just how this is going to end? Is one worker just going to die? Okay. I was like, one of you guys is going to lose
stops,
this.
and then the worker fight goes on. The
worker dies, and it starts back up again. Well, definitely a smart move to put the pylon down there because, yes, you both get the gold base right away, but since Zerg can expand, to 2 bases at once, and I actually agree with this. I think leaving the pylon to finish is the right move.
Especially with how late this this pool is. He did force out the pool because he blocked the hatchery, but it's going to be really, really late. So this actually forces Curious to go for the other base without the gold. So, yeah, I do agree with you here. I think that was the right move to leave that pylon up.
Some nerds might be like, but Jesus, what about the minerals? Well, guys, he already has a gold base, okay? He's already going to pay for that. They always talk in that voice, too.
They really do.
They do. Whoop, look out.
She got really scared.
Never know, man. We're going to put those cameras on you. We have the Adept coming up here now, and the robotics facility starting up. The Overlord does spot that and begins to back out. I don't think we're going to have any kind of weird cancel or anything like that, so we can just assume that that's going to be the tech of choice from here on out.
So, just going to have to wait until this gets a little bit further. I don't expect Trap to pull a Seed. Or was it Seed? No, it was Blaze, I think, the last one against Bial, who's just like, oh, you're really close to me. Let me try to all-in you with the 5-year-old build that everyone's already figured out.
Yeah, and, that was kind of surprising to see that play. Is he going to save this? That would be so cool. That'd be it's like, well, that might be proxying you later. Wharf Gate is, in fact, almost done here. So another nuisance here. The pylon remains in the game.
Whoa.
And whoa, are we going to see disruptor drops?
I think that's definitely what we're going to be seeing here.
Oh, Valdez, I'm so happy.
Get some Warp Prism speed in there as well if you want to be really, really fancy.
You know what's cool about this? Now, you never actually played Brood War, right?
No, unfortunately. One of my biggest regrets of life, Tasteless.
Yeah, that was one part of your life that you really
I really messed up.
You really
on that
messed up on that.
I really dropped the ball.
Yeah. Well, this style of play that we've been seeing now is very similar to a Brood War style. Legacy of the Void, of course, much more similar to Brood War than the other expansions. I'd say Heart of the Swarm was the one that steered the furthest away from Brood War. But we've seen this style, and it's very similar to Reaver Harass. And the Reaver was a unit that it looked like a big roly-poly, and you had to pay for its projectiles each time it fired. And
I've watched some videos of that, Tasteless.
Okay, all right. Well, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I'm here to, just
no. I'm just saying.
Grandpa Tasteless is just here to tell you guys what it was like back in the the golden years.
You guys should take a look at some of those videos. Actually, really entertaining.
Yeah. But no, look at this man. He does not even care if he sees this. He's like,
nope,
yeah,
so what?
I got to get there faster. And what you would do with a strat like this is you would just run around and continuously kill workers. A lot of times people upgraded speed as well so that the shuttle always got away. And it was pretty cool.
I thought he was going to go for that, but...
Oh, my God. See, there you go. He just killed 4 workers.
Yeah, for free, basically. I mean, you had to pay for the units, obviously, but it stays alive. You'll have another charge up here in a bit. Oh, you could actually try to be sneaky and catch Curious while he's not paying attention. Go for some of these lings.
Yeah, he totally could, actually.
That would be really... of course, Curious would have to be not paying attention. The lings are really fast now at speed,
well,
but...
He also... Hold on. I was wondering if you could just try to get that when it's on the way back. Lings could definitely out-micro this. Oh, look at his timing. Look at this. Why so... Oh, he's so good. He's so good. Okay, so... He's continuing to push out here, and he's got his sights set on the bottom right. Keep in mind that Zerg didn't get the second gold base. It was a mineral-only base, so it's not like Zerg should have a disproportionate number of units. It actually should be quite a manageable number.
We're going for 9 mutas here, actually, for Curious. I don't think Trap has any idea about this coming along. Look at the anti-air. He's got 2 Stalkers and 1 Sentry.
He would need to warp in a ton of Stalkers here.
Well, he needs to figure this out fast. He needs to identify that there's not a lot of units here.
It should be obvious when you see this small number of roaches. It's like, well, you're not like, oh, cool, he just doesn't have an army, right?
Yeah. Oh, boy, the Disruptor shot. He's going to really have to rely on these mutas.
Oh, my God, he's going to get the hatchery, I think, here.
Yeah,
okay, he's got to get this Warp Prism. He has to get the Warp Prism over here. The Warp Prism, right now for Curious, he has to gun that down.
And he does get it, but Trap doesn't even seem to care. He's just coming in here trying to get some damage done. The force fields come down, and the Disruptor shot on the drones. Oh, man.
Beautiful plays here. Unfortunately, there are too many mutas. Like, the mutas are eventually going to win this fight over here. Now, what are the impacts of that? I'm not entirely sure. We'll have to look at how many drones are remaining after this is all said and done. It looks like right now their count is fairly even. Will it stay that way?
Yeah, we really need to assess the damage here. I mean, the Adepts here are doing a bit more damage, but they are about to go down. Curious has got 3 bases. It's not a gold base, but there's no answer to these mutas right now. The Protoss just lost every single unit he has, and he still only has 2 bases.
Yeah, I mean, as exciting as that rush was, first of all, I don't know why he tried to run up into the second. Yeah, I mean, I think from there you just try to sustain. You actually do a push.
Take out the 3rd base.
A take no prisoners push, yeah. Yeah, where you're just, you're keeping your army together and you're keeping Zerg forced to defend. But he went to the, the lion's den there.
Yeah.
Where it would be the center meetup point for production. Now, again, the Adepts over here trying to harass. And talk about taxing your multitasking here. This is tough enough if you're just trying to use these Adepts and defend against Muta harass.
Yeah, with the Mothership Core, definitely going to help out a lot. Ooh, loses that War Prism. That's pretty big. Going to put an end to this harass eventually.
Yeah, as you can see, he's not quite focusing with these remaining Adepts here. And that's it. He gets cleaned up pretty easily.
Yeah, this one Adept.
that Adept could have gotten a lot of drones had he shift clicked it. I don't want to be too critical of it.
That could have been at least 3 more drones.
So when it's all said and done, it's 114 supply to 64. Stargate Tech has started now, but it looks like it's going to be a little bit longer before the mutas can fully be driven back home to the point where the mutas can't just dominate the map. Yeah. Of course, you can try to micro these Phoenixes, but it's pretty difficult. It's basically one misclick here by the Phoenix controller, and all the Phoenixes die, whereas the mutas, they can soak a little bit of damage here. And in fact, he's going to unpower the Robo. Oh man, this is getting really bad here for Trap.
Yeah, Trap, I mean, that one push failed, and that was about it. Now he's struggling desperately to deal with these mutas. He's adding a second Stargate, but Curious has already resaturated all 3 of his bases. He's going for Hydras into eventually Lurkers, and I think this may already be a done deal, unless there's like a big miss micro with Curious's mutas where he loses every single one, and then all of a sudden Trap can like re-expand or something. But even then, it's going to be fighting from behind for sure.
Dude, you know what? I think Trap's going to lose this just based off income. He's about to mine out his gold base. He doesn't have much of anything in his main. I mean, all Curious has to do is make stuff and not, really throw his army away, and it's physically impossible for Trap to win.
Trying to poke down this Robo now. Looks like he actually wants to take out some of these Stalkers. Has to be careful. You were talking about that micro. But just soaking up some damage and doing a good job of it.
Gold base, the second one about to be acquired here. So the momentum from Curious is just not stopping.
Yeah, Trap picking up some units here and there, but it's kind of lackluster damage at this point. He's not really finding much here, just some Zerglings so that he can open up a path for this 3rd base, but the Phoenixes are actually really out of position, and all the mutas are in the main.
Yeah, well, you can see he's might be able to trap these mutas. He actually has enough Phoenixes at this point in time where the Zerg really does need to start taking some caution. But again, the story, like I was saying, the economics, look at the supplies here. I mean, to some extent, he could even throw these mutas away, I guess, and actually probably still win this game.
Yeah, it looks like he's kind of gotten trapped, but it just doesn't matter. You know, so much economy has been dumped into all these Phoenixes, and even if they finally take out these mutas, he has no response to what's coming. Unless these disruptor shots can really just get a gigantic chug, but even then, it's going to be a really hard hold.
Look at this arc, man. This is pretty crazy. And he might even get the disruptor before he can even use it. Curious is coming up. Nice control. Actually minimizing a lot of that damage. Only 3 Hydras lost. And if he can't get this base, he certainly cannot win this game.
And the Mothership Core goes down as well. No pylons were up. GG. Well, there you have it. Curious taking out Trap. Holding off that push. Killing all of his units with a very nice Spire timing. Just in time to hold it off.
Nicely done there. Yeah, Freak of Freaks. Just looking very, very strong, man. So, you know, they haven't had an easy Pro League so far here, but maybe this is going to give them that morale boost that they need here for the rest of the season. Of course, they're definitely going to need this morale boost here today if they're going to close it out against, you know, the Junior Green Wings. That team, easily one of the best teams to date.
Yeah, I feel like they definitely needed that win over Trap, and definitely the favorite player there when it comes to the predictions. And I feel like Super might have a hard time against Rogue, and Alive will do decently against Pure. So, as I was saying before, I feel like this might go to an ace match and be the much closer matchup of the night.
I hope so. I don't want this to be a 3-0. I want to see it get down to the final game, but we really are beginning to lay out the landscape of, you know, what team is in fact stronger in Legacy. You know, we do see, you know, Kings change thrones. Tasteless the poet over here. Yeah. But we do see the rotation of Kings here as the expansions and patches do come out. And for a little bit here, as Pro League started up, it seemed like the Afreeca Freaks were not having an easy time with it.
Yeah. Kind of interesting that Janair sent out Trap on that map. I mean, that's definitely still a Zerg-favored map, so I feel like that was a specific timing build that Trap was going for. I mean, we saw it from the get-go. Try to harass with, it's like when they used to do Immortal drops like that and then eventually go for an Immortal timing. With a bunch of gateways, but this time it's with disruptors and it comes a little bit faster. But it seemed like Curious had his number, like he knew it was coming, saw the Robo, and he was just like, oh, okay, I know how to stop this. I'll just get a bunch of mutas.
I mean, to be frank, all he had to do was have Stalkers made.
Yeah,
he had too many Adepts and not enough Stalkers. And, like, I mean, I don't want to be too critical, but honestly, I mean, if you get to their base, you know they have a gold base, and you see 4 roaches. Immediately make Stalkers, okay?
Well, I think he did, but he didn't have enough, you know?
Yeah, but what was weird about it is he made the Stalkers, and then he was like, you know, hitting at third base, and he went like, ah, and ran into the second base. And I mean, look, all that Zerg has to do in that moment is stop your production, get rid of the Warp Prism, and you're going to lose. So I think if he had actually stayed back and tried to defend and just kept the pressure on and then inched the Warp Prism forward, he was going to get the third base 100%. Okay,
yeah, he could have focused that down. I don't know why he didn't do that.
And then he was going to get the second base 100% after he got another Warp in of Stalkers. Because I mean, if you look at gas cost or even build time, I mean, the rate at which you can pump out Stalkers. After the initial Muta burst, if you compare how many times Mutas are coming out, you know, based off the larva coming in versus the gateway cooldown, yes, you will always have more Stalkers. That's how you win. And we've seen a